Hello there. We are outside the new medical school here in our Derry London Derry Magee campus today. My name's Simon Bennett and I'm a third year journalism student who studies in the Coleraine campus.
I'm Holly Fleck. Like Simon, I'm a journalist. Delighted to be here today.
The first 70 students will start studying the building behind me next month. They come from a wide range of both scientific and non-scientific backgrounds, come from places like Belfast, Dublin, Galway, and even as far as the Sunshine Coast in Australia.
We are thrilled to introduce our first guest of today, Sheamus. Sheamus was previously a lecturer in Irish at the Magee campus and then as a political advisor in universal community-based healthcare in Ireland. Thank you for joining us, Sheamus.
No, it's good to be here.
So when you were a lecturer at Magee, you've now came back as a student. How do you think your experience will differ this time, and why did you choose Magee?
Well, I chose Magee because I first heard about it in my previous job in Dáil Éireann, where they were discussing the need for graduate entry medicine programme in the north, and specifically one that catered for the northwest. And I suppose the idea sort of stuck with me ever since then, and I followed it through all the information sessions and following it in the news, the progress of the school and all that. So it's going to be different. The place looks different. It looks absolutely fantastic. There's been, I think, millions spent on renovations since I was here last. And I suppose the reason I chose Magee was because I had that bit of familiarity with it, but as well the whole idea of patient-focused learning at this medical school. And just looking it's going to be different this time, what the view looks like from the seats rather than up on the podium. But I suppose that little bit experience of what it's like the other side will probably help as well.
Definitely. And what advice would you give someone who is thinking of applying to medicine at Ulster University?
Start straight away and don't give up. Like, there are several, I won't call them hurdles, but obstacles and challenges along the way. But certainly from the first day the thought comes into their head, ask loads of questions, because the team here were fantastic in terms of information sessions about the GAMSAT. They answered any questions that we had about how long the process will take, questions about applying, questions about the course itself. So if anybody has that niggling thought in their head that they might want to do this course, I would say straight away start asking questions. And the team here is only too happy to help people who have that initial thought.
That's fantastic advice. And what are you hoping to achieve from your time at Ulster University as a student?
Well, hopefully to get through the 4 years and come out of it successfully. But as well as that, I think as evidenced by this morning, I already know about 20 people's names and their backstories as well. So I'm really looking forward to the richness of the experience of the other 70 students. And you mentioned a couple of the backgrounds there that they come from, and there's something to be learned from everybody, and there's hopefully things that I'll be able to teach my fellow colleagues, and that was stressed this morning, the need for good communication between the staff and the students and amongst the students themselves. So I'm really just looking forward to those relationships growing and being very fruitful in terms of us continuing on in our education and becoming doctors eventually someday. So it's been a fantastic start this morning, and I can only hope it gets better and more exciting as time goes on.
Thank you very much, Sheamus. Thank you.
Our next interviewee is Katie, who comes from the Sunshine Coast in Australia, which is a minor 10,000 miles away. She spent previous time as a nurse. Hello, Katie.
Hello.
So why did you decide to change your career, study medicine from your previous career in nursing?
Well, nursing's been absolutely fantastic, and it's such a wonderful career, which is so rewarding, as we all know. And working with healthcare, you get a good understanding of what's to come in the world of medicine. But I guess my ambitions to study medicine was directly influenced by the COVID pandemic. I am an intensive care nurse. I was redeployed to the Nightingale COVID ICU over the past sort of 12 months. And it was there you sort of really, you ended up adopting a huge drive of furthering your understanding and knowledge of particular areas, and really wanting to push yourself as a healthcare professional to do the best for your patients. You just always want to do more. And, in that really complicated environment, and it was a very tricky environment, there was a lot of self-reflection there. And I think, through those experiences, you sort of sit back, what more can I do for my patients to sort of better their quality and quantity of life? And, the idea to study medicine was formed. So, yeah.
Thank you. So why did you choose Ulster then?
So Ulster, I've had a little bit of experience living up here, this side of Northern Ireland, just for 6 months a few years ago, and it's fantastic. The people are so lovely here. When we've obviously got the glorious weather, it's such a spot to be. But the university itself, I was working with a fair few nursing students, and all the ones from the Ulster were absolutely buzzing. And you have such a good reputation, and that travels all the way across. And really excited to be working in, learning in a university with such positive feedback from students. The new course as well looks really interesting, adopting a different approach into teaching, which I'm really excited for too. So there's a lot of like multifactorial components that's made me really excited to study here. But absolutely, the people are hands down already so welcoming, so lovely, and just really excited to come back.
So what are you looking forward to most then in your first year?
So I guess, meeting everyone. It'll be really interesting to, the friendships that you make will be friendships for life in many ways. Absolutely learning more skills and seeing healthcare from another perspective as well is going to be really interesting. Just learning and gaining those clinical skills that I apply in practice. There's just so much, and obviously living uni life, it's been a long time since I have. Really looking forward to that too.
Thank you very much, Katie. Our final interview today is Michael, a former business management student who decided at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic to take up a job as a part-time ambulance driver. Hello, Michael. So what does it mean to you today to begin your journey at the School of Medicine here?
It's really exciting, and for me it really did feel like quite a big change coming from a business background, but having met everybody and having met the staff and having seen how excited everybody is about the whole thing, just makes me feel like, yes, I'm in the right place. This was absolutely the right thing to do. So yes, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it really is a dream come true for me and so many others.
As a former business management student, what advice would you give somebody who's thinking about changing their career path?
The first thing I think I would say is think very carefully about it. For some people this is a really big commitment. We've studied before, we've had that financial commitment of studying before. Some people are already settled. To come here, they've had to uproot families, relocate. So it is a big commitment, and that's just before you get to the actual studying part of it. But what I'd say is don't rule yourself out. I came from a non-science background. It seemed at times the furthest thing away from someone like me. But I'd say if your motivations are right and you've thought about it and you're sure that this is what you want to do, then absolutely back yourself, and this school is in a great position to cater for students like me who maybe come into it from a different route or a different background a few years down the line. So yes, think about it, but absolutely back yourself if it's what you want to do.
And finally, Michael, if you could just sum up how excited you are to be one of the first group of students studying at Ulster University School of Medicine.
It's unbelievably exciting, and for a number of reasons. I think when you want to dedicate your career to the Northern Irish NHS, what better way to sort of kick that off than by studying in the community that you'll be working in? And I think that's one of the big appeals about this place and why the project is so exciting, that we'll be turning out doctors into the local community to address that sort of shortage we've had in the NHS over the last few years. I think that there's such a buzz around this project, and for all the right reasons. It's a great investment in the Northwest, but I think it's just such a great thing for Northern Ireland in general that we're going to be having more local doctors coming out, and I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, thank you very much for joining us today. That is all of our guests, but I think there's one message that we should take away from today, and that is that it's never too late to change your career path. Professor Louise Dubrad, Foundation Dean at Ulster University School of Medicine, said the School of Medicine will act as a home, a welcoming place for the future doctors who are embarking on a challenging yet hugely rewarding journey. If you do have any questions, feel free to message Ulster on any of their social media pages or visit ulster.ac.uk/medicine. That's all from us today. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.
Cheerio.